My name is Aurel Bacs. I am Swiss, passionate for vintage watches since I'm a teenager, and I'm now partnering with Philips, the auction house, together with my wife Livia, and will hold auctions as of now twice a year in Geneva and as of next year across the planet. Patek Philippe is probably the gold standard in our industry. Patek Philippe has, since 1839, never had a moment of weakness when it comes to quality. They have never cut corners in terms of the finishing and the perfection of their pieces. Patek Philippe is also a company who has always offered to service a watch across the 175 years of their existence. Patek Philippe has also, for every watch in their archives, a full description: when it was made, what's the number, how it was finished, to whom it was sold. So these are elements that collectors appreciate. It gives them a great deal of comfort and serenity. And lastly, Patek Philippe has always treasured and maintained their heritage like hardly any company, including several publications and of course also their world-famous museum. I think whether it is a Patek Philippe or any other collector's watch, there's a number of parameters that collectors consider when valuing a vintage collector's watch. I think we must admit that of course a big element is the mechanical aspect, so the complications. A simple time-only Patek Philippe can be maybe a 4-digit or 5-digit value. Chronographs, perpetual calendars, tourbillons, minute repeaters, they go into the 6- and 7-digit numbers. The rarity. I assume it makes sense that a unique piece is much more eagerly fought for than a piece that was produced in 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 examples. It's simply a question of supply and demand. And if a unique piece is demanded, but there's only one piece on the planet, then the price can go into the millions. So we had the complications, the rarity. Condition. A vintage Patek Philippe that is over-polished, badly restored, maybe had even a water damage one day, maybe has no longer all the original parts. Such unfortunate watches do exist, and that makes it much less attractive for a collector compared to a watch that has miraculously survived in its original leather box half a century or even a century in a bank vault, that like a sleeping beauty comes out of the box after tens of years in mint condition. So we have condition. I think the provenance is very important. Imagine you have and I've had the privilege to sell watches that, for example, belong to Duke Ellington, a famous jazz player, watches that belong to kings and queens, watches that belong to Hollywood stars. The provenance either of a celebrity, but also the provenance of an important collection or museum can add enormous value to a vintage Patek Philippe. And all these elements together, maybe in some parameters a watch is outperforming, in another parameter it's underperforming. The ensemble, the several criteria together make the value.